Hey crew, it's Pitt, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today we're going to be checking out a hot new drop from Appalachia Untold. This is Gary Nichols, The Devil's Blood. Let's dig in and see what's up. Sounds like it'll be right up my alley.
Alright, it's called The Devil's Blood.
Get him, son. Come on now.
Walking through the city, hungry, homeless, dirty, and dope sick. My hat and clothes are dingy, and the dirt under my nails is 9 days thick. I'm just trying to find some paper and ride across the river once again. I know the man that's got it, the ink that I've been needing for my pen. It's brown and a little bitter when you heat it up with water in a spoon. Pull it up through the cotton, tie off and find a line to run it through. Then you draw till you see red, push the plunger down and then you're through. Fall back and feel the feeling, the devil's blood bleeding and deep. My old house was just all.
That's a recipe for death right there. That's a recipe for losing everything that you ever desired in your life. That is a recipe for not ever having a normal life with anyone ever again. Like once you do that, like it changes things for everybody in your life. It really does. And there can be repair from those things, but chances are once you've done that, you've just started on the trail that's going to lead you to robbing the people that you love. That's going to lead to you lying to every single person that you know. It's going to lead to you when you wake up from the nod off, wondering who's in there trying to steal your stuff while you're nodded off. It's going to wind up with you lying in a bathtub where somebody dumped you with a needle hanging out of your arm. And your sister, your baby sister, walks in and she gets to discover you. That's what that leads to. We lost my Uncle James. We lost my Uncle James when I was 15 years old. He was a good man, but he made a lot of bad choices. And he hung with the wrong people. And the wrong people got him started with this path right here. And you know, my aunt, she still to this day is not right. Because she had to see, like, he was the youngest, but she was the younger of the sisters. So, like, they were very close together. And anyway, she had to find him. But the thing is that ain't where he died. See, he was at his homeboy's house. And they were doing this together. And he died there. And then they loaded him up in the car and they drove him to his sister's house. And they put him in the water. And after they took his clothes off and they put him in the water and they left him there with the empty needle in his arm. That's what happens when you start making these decisions. That's why I push so hard against these decisions. Right? Like, I have other stories. Like, I got a lot of stories. But, like, that one's the one that hit me today.
Off Chisholm, a couple blocks behind the Baptist church. Some days I walk by and remember what my life was like when I was hurt. Back before I shot it all, down to the beds we all were sleeping in. Had to move back home with mama, 39, hooked on heroin. It's brown and a little bitter when you heat it up with water in a spoon. pull it up through the cotton, tie off and find a vein to push it through. Then you draw till you see red, push the plunger down, and then you're through. Fall back and feel the feeling of the devil's blood bleeding into you. I hope you never feel the feeling of the devil's blood bleeding into you.
Y'all make sure y'all get back and show some love over at Appalachia Untold. Because this is one of those songs that's fighting the good fight, right? This is one of those songs that's trying to let you know that this is not the right way to go. Like I tell y'all all the time that there is nobody for you in the game, and that is God's honest truth. The man who brought my uncle home grew up with him. Right? They did battle together. And when the end came, they didn't bring him to the hospital. They didn't even try to save his life. Now Narcan was not a thing back then, but they didn't even attempt to save his life. What they did was attempt to hide their involvement in it, and they got away with it. Because the police, where I come from, they get paid. And so when the right family makes the right money, they can make the right decisions, and nobody gets held accountable for things that are obviously not right. Things that are not even hidden. They are common knowledge. And that is the real life rural Louisiana, I can tell you that much. And so that ain't even the only story I got like that, y'all. There's so many people I have lost in my life behind this shit. Like I can't even tell you some of the stories. And it's so disheartening to see it glorified everywhere as you turn. To see everywhere as you turn, they trying to trap another soul into this abyss, into this great darkness that you cannot escape from, right? Because it tricks you into thinking that you want to be there. It tricks you into thinking that not feeling your emotions is a good thing, and you're there until you die. Right? Now, some people get out. Some people get out. Gary got out. And he's telling you, don't make the mistake, because that temptation is great. It's a big one. It gets a lot of people. You can overcome it. It is entirely possible. If you're dealing with it today, get some help. Like, that's one of the ones you need medical assistance to get help with. But I'm going to tell you now, if they putting you on that other stuff, where you go in and you get your dose, they ain't trying to help you with that neither. Now that's a good stopgap, just like all the rest of them tools that we talk about all the time. That's a stopgap. That is a temporary reprieve from something terrible by something a little less terrible. But it is only a little less terrible. I know plenty of people out there behind that don't. I know plenty of people out there doing the same dirty stuff behind the cure as they were doing behind the sickness. And so the way out is honesty and therapy. The way out is feeling your emotions and understanding that you're supposed to, and learning how to not let them overwhelm you, whatever they happen to be, sadness or anger or whatever it is you're trying to mask. Because that's all you're doing. If you're nodding out, bro, you're just masking something. Find out what it is and get rid of it. I try not to be judgy on here because I have waded through the mud. When I say I came from the mud, y'all, I was buried neck deep in it. I grew up in it. I lived it. I loved it. When I tell you there's a path out of it, there is. But you got to pray for it. You don't just show up. You got to work for it. Because even though he can deliver you today, you have to try to stay delivered. You cannot try his, like, he can take it from you. And then you'll be like, well, is it really gone? Do I really? Let me go try it. Right? Those temptations get in your mind. You have to work to stay there. but it can be gone. I can promise you that. It's hard. This particular one is really hard. It's a medical problem. It's better to get off of it. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. This was great. I love it. This was great. I love it. This was great. I love it. I miss my Uncle James. Gary, thank you for this. Appalachia Untold, thank you for this. To the crew, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate every single minute that you are here with me. And I am praying for you every single day. Until next time, I love you. God loves you. You are perfect, whole, and complete just the way that you are. And this has been Pitt State. Peace.